Welcome to Political Pulse Live, the internet's #1 source for tackling social issues, interviews with local officials, and political information that matters most to your local community. Our special guest tonight is Henry the Adjuster, here to share the public adjuster perspective on a new law that will greatly impact homeowners in the state of Florida.
Henry, real quick before we put you in the hot seat, just tell everybody a little bit about yourself and the name of your company and how they can find you.
Yeah, no worries. Yes. So I'm known as Henry the Adjuster. I do have a website that is titled henrytheadjuster.com. I work for a leading high-end, basically public claim adjusting firm in South Florida. We're in South Florida, Central Florida, West Coast as well. We're all independent. So basically we're all business owners. We're 1099. We just hang up our adjusting license underneath an adjusting firm. I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years, but before that, I was in the insurance field as an agent, as well as, I was working with an agent and as well as a lot of banking industry in the past.
Wow.
So insurance, like property insurance, right? Insurance agent?
Yes, I was working for an agent in Orlando. I had a 220 license. Yes. Property and casualties. Yes.
Okay. So I'm sorry, Bill, what were you saying?
So, we just got done with Hurricane Ian, right?
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of claims going in. There's going to be a lot of, I'm sure a lot of legit claims and a lot of claims that people are going to be looking to, make some money on. The House, the Senate and the House, they just got together and they were discussing this bill, right, recently that is out there. What have you found going into the field right now as one of the biggest issues? Because I know Citizens is really our biggest insurance policy holder right now. More and more insurance companies are bailing out of Florida. What has this bill done, or what is it going to do? Or from your opinion, how is it helping the homeowners? Because I don't hear very good things about the last session. So from your perspective, what are you hearing out in the field?
Well, as of right now, with the latest bill, I wouldn't say it's going to help homeowners, but it might level, quote unquote, the playing field. That's what the insurance companies is trying to say. But in all reality, what it's really doing is, for instance, like now as a public adjuster, for instance, so I could go into details, okay? What I know going forward, let's just say if you have like a small water claim, most policies in the state of Florida, I wouldn't say all, I'm saying most, sometimes have a $10,000 water limit. What that means is if your pipe breaks, if the toilet overflows, AC leaks, some policies have it where the most that you can get from a water claim is $10,000, point blank.
Whoa.
So having said that, right?
Wait, hold on. I just want to pause. A flood
Some
can
policies,
actually
yes.
a flood can actually affect the foundation. That's
Correct,
not
but
$10,000.
Flood is separate.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Flood is a separate endorsement. But for instance, I'm just putting this into perspective so you can see. So before, okay, let's just say if a client has a $10,000 water claim, right? $10,000 limit, they have a massive water. The most that they can get is $10,000, so to say. Minus our fees, somewhat, because most public adjusters charge in between 10 to 20%. So the most that the client could probably get is $8,000. That depends if the deductible is already taken care of. So in all reality, the people that least cannot afford to have a mishap will be underserved. This is why I'm saying that. If they have a $10,000 water cap now, insurance companies usually would, from all of my experiences, they're not just going to, even though you have massive amount of damage, they're just not going to write you a check that here, $10,000. Have a great day. They're not doing that because if they were doing that, attorneys wouldn't be getting all the fees. What ends up happening in this process is that, we have to sometimes maybe, talk to the client if they want to get legal opinion involved because the insurance companies don't want to pay for massive damages. So having said that, with this new bill, usually the attorneys, right, they will bill the insurance company separate to represent the homeowner. So it doesn't come off of their estimate, their winnings, if that makes sense. Now what's happening, since they are limiting the attorney's fee structures, which means that the attorneys cannot basically bill the insurance company for their fees. So if the attorneys cannot bill the insurance company for their fees, some attorneys are going to just start taking 33.5% from what the consumer gets.
Right.
So the consumer is getting less and less from the claim process now.
Well, Henry,
In all reality,
here's something. I'm going to bring up a good point to what you're just saying now.
okay,
I know a company, a guy got his
Okay.
public adjuster's license,
Yeah.
and he runs around and he tries to get people to say that, you know, come into my house, I'll get you a new kitchen.
okay,
Right? They disconnect some pipe in the house or whatever they do under the stove, on the island,
Mhm.
and then they, you know, put a little claim in for dampness with a meter that they have, and they send a water mitigation company in there, put the fans in there, they do the whole 9 yards.
Mhm.
The mitigation company gets paid out of the check,
correct.
right?
That's correct.
Right. So you got the mitigation company, you got the adjuster. Now, if you bring the attorney in, right, there's nothing
Correct.
left for the homeowner.
Well, it depends on which attorneys you use. And like in all cases, in all fields, there are a lot of bad apples in every way.
Right.
But
Right.
having said that, some attorneys can get a percentage of your claim. But when you have high volume public adjuster where, you know, you're dealing more volume, I only deal with attorneys that does not take a percentage from my client's estimate. They just bill the insurance company for the fee statute in the rear from the
Yeah.
insurance.
Yeah. But, you know, and the other thing too, bringing up the point, these guys, these adjusters that are running around that are unscrupulous, that needs to stop, because this is where all these problems are coming from. You got people like that, you got roofing companies. And, you know, when something like that happens, people should report those type of adjusters, because they shouldn't be
Correct.
licensed to run around to steal money from the
No,
insurance
that's
company for
correct.
false claims.
That is correct.
Right.
But remember, in all industries, there's some bad apples. But in this industry, there's only 13,000 public adjusters. Public adjusters didn't cause this massive problem. Put in
Right.
perspective, how many public adjusters there are in the state of Florida? It's 13,000. There's 250,000 realtors in the state of Florida.
Right.
Public
I'm sure
adjusters
some of them
didn't
are
create
just
the
as bad.
collapse. We didn't create the
Yeah.
collapse of this massive industry.
Yeah.
The insurance companies, right? This is my whole thing. What I tell people all the time. I did not write the policy. I did not collect the home. I did not tell the homeowner you're covered for this. Here is your contract. I did not basically tell the homeowner any of that. The insurance
Right.
company tells homeowners you're covered A to Z. This is your legal binding document. Give us your premium. But when it comes time to pay, they do not pay. Now, are there some bad people, public adjusters? I'm pretty sure there are. There's bad people throughout the whole world. There's bad contractors, bad lawyers, bad everything. But that's
Yeah.
just a flip that they try to say. The whole reality is, if the insurance companies don't have the money, don't put it where they're covered. That's the main issue. Because when massive devastation happens, the first thing they like to do is say, oh, we're broke. We can't pay. I didn't write the contract say, oh, your house is valued. Oh, we'll insure it for $300,000. So if you have $100,000 worth of damage, they start crying all of a sudden. Oh, these damages. We use the same standard guidelines as they use. Xactimate. That's building software. It's a program for construction, building. We use the exactly same thing as the desk adjusters, field adjusters use. It's just that the insurance companies, when they send out their adjusters, their reports are like low, because obviously they have a benefit. They work for them.
Right.
So yes, there are bad public adjusters, but there's 13,000 of us. Public adjusters didn't create this massive problem. The massive problem.
Yeah, no. And I wasn't saying they were. I'm just saying that all of it adds up into the pie, right?
Correct.
You have the roofing contractors that do what they do, then you have bad public adjusters, and you have people tying together. There's just so much fraud in this industry. But go back to the insurance company. When you're paying all this money every year into your insurance policies, right? Why do you think these companies are going broke? Or no, where do you think the money goes?
Hey, that's a very good question.
Right? It's amazing how much money we pay in and they don't want to pay back. It's just, you know.
And the funny thing is, a state-run company like Citizens, they're not going broke, and that's run by the state of Florida. Citizens has the most reserves So I'm
Right.
trying to figure out where's all the money.
Right.
No, I don't think that the reinsurance so much is the issue. I think like tort reform, but tort reform is good, but I think that it hasn't been, not enough has been done, and it hasn't been complete. Meaning like the circle of the, you know, the cycle of this whole tort reform is not complete. That's my opinion. I don't know what you think, but like what you were saying, like first of all, people make these claims, right? And they sue the insurance company. I mean, I think you know already, but Florida is 80% responsible for all the insurance, home insurance litigation
All right.
in the country, right? We have like 80%. People just claim things, sue these companies, and the companies have to cover all these litigation fees. So
They
yeah,
cover it if they lose. That's the thing. If they lose.
right. Oh, okay. I thought it was like they covered it both way, but in the new form, in the new reform, it's actually
The
only
old
when they
one
lose.
too. The old one too.
Okay. So if they lose, and of course they
If the
can
insurance
hire.
company, this is the thing. If the claims are so bad, and if they go to court deems in favor of the homeowner for valid
Mhm.
claims. So then they're paying the homeowners what's due, and then they're paying all these massive attorney fees
Right.
instead of paying out what was due in the first place.
Yeah. Okay. So that's where a lot of the money goes, right? If you consider
Correct.
like 80% of the litigations is originating from Florida. I don't know. I mean, they were talking
Probably stop
about,
going to court.
yeah, there's some people who say that like, you know, it may be a cultural thing, you know, for people to just instead of arbitrate, they like litigate, you know what I mean? And maybe that has to be something that's put in to you know, lower that that cost. That's the only
Correct.
people who are getting rich from this is, you know, is the attorneys.
Yeah.
That is correct. But one thing I do know, because that was a fee statute. Now I do not practice any law, but I'm just basically dealing with some of the attorneys that I might recommend. But now they're not even doing the fee statute part where the insurance company are responsible for the fees. Now what they're going to do is they're just going to, if you need us help with your claim, whatever we can recover from you, we're going to take a percentage now.
Mm, okay. And you're saying that the attorneys are demanding 33%?
I mean, they're gonna demand some type of form of money from the claim.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Bill?
So it's just going to go back to the homeowners now. So instead of the homeowners, in my opinion, if you're going to take 33% and plus the PA might take 10 to 20%, so the homeowner's going to be left with less of the pie.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
maybe
I think
50% left.
I think it's all ridiculous, right? I think that the public adjuster should meet the adjuster from the insurance company. It all gets worked out. And then there's no attorneys put in place because these attorneys, let's face it, most of them are money hungry and they're going to get as much as they can. And they're going to fight as hard as they can for as long as they can and bill as many hours as they can. I don't see any reason why the insurance company and the public adjuster can't work it out with a legitimate claim when pictures are submitted, when all the documentation is done right. It should not be a battle to pay for people to get their houses, their property fixed when we've been paying into these policies for years and years and years. And if there's a good claim going in with good backup and support, the insurance company should just pay it out. Just like on whatever day your month is bill, your bill is due every month at whatever day. If you don't pay it, you don't have insurance. I mean, it should be that simple.
I
right?
agree. That's the perfect world. That's the perfect world. I wish that was the case. It'll make my job a whole lot easier.
It would. But I think, again, government gets involved, things get so complicated. It should not be, the attorneys should not have, unless it's something terrible, there should be a benchmark when attorneys can actually have to get involved in something like this. It shouldn't be just a run-of-the-mill thing that people are able to do so quick and fast. Because there's no reason why the insurance company and the adjuster can't work this out if documentation is done. I mean, the insurance companies just don't want to pay, and that's the problem. They want to get paid, they don't want to pay out.
I would say that's
Sounds about right.
I would say that's a little bit the majority of the problem, yes. And then I think that's the majority of the problem And then sometimes when it goes, on the older bill, when it did go to court, and if it drags out, then the next problem is, yes, the insured is getting paid, receivables from their claim. But because it took so long, because the insurance company wants to fight it out, that they owe a big bill to the attorneys.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching Political Pulse Live. Please make sure you subscribe, like, and comment about today's show. Stay tuned for the next episode